The confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County over the last 24 hours is 26,754, with 27 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 276 additional cases were reported, with no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Bella Shaw. It's Thursday, January 6th. California is struggling to staff hospitals and classrooms as a growing number of employees test positive for COVID-19. Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Ghaly says workers from other states are available to fill in where facilities are strapped. The California Hospital Association says 40% of hospitals are expecting critical staff shortages, and some say a quarter of their staff are out for virus-related reasons. In Fresno County, more than 300 hospital workers were either isolating because of exposure or are recovering. The LA County Fire Department is driving patients to hospitals in fire trucks rather than ambulances because 450 firefighters are out with COVID-19. Officials say going forward, the County Fire Department will only be sent on medical calls when absolutely necessary. McCormick Ambulance, a private company contracting with the county, says the Omicron variant has wiped out its workforce. Confirmed virus cases shot up nearly 500% in the last 2 weeks, and hospitalizations more than doubled since Christmas to 8,600 throughout California. State models forecast hospitalizations could pass 20,000 by early next month. Nationally, we're averaging 550,000 new COVID-19 cases a day, with daily deaths around 1,250. The Torrance Unified School District issued new updates on masking, testing, and quarantines. The school district is sending 2 test kits home with each student tomorrow so they can monitor their health and COVID-19 status at home over the weekend. For details and instructions for parents, go to tusd.org and click on the News and Information section. It's a proactive approach as the state is behind schedule on mailing out its test kits to millions of families. Dr. Mark Ghaly mentioned hundreds of thousands of COVID-19 tests were damaged last week due to heavy rains. He also blamed the bad weather for leading to logistical problems and delays. But he assured that the state delivered about 6.2 million tests to county offices of education, with more tests going out this week, and added that the state has the capacity to conduct hundreds of thousands of PCR tests each day. The Chicago public school system became the first of the largest districts in the nation to shut its doors due to the coronavirus surge. And here in California, more than 500 students and staff members at the Sacramento City Unified School District were quarantined after testing positive for COVID-19. LA County's free at-home testing kit program is at a standstill as lab workers called out sick with COVID-19. The program offers nasal swab kits by mail to residents who have the virus or are exposed to it. The county had a cap of 4,000 home test kits per day to make sure the kits were sent, received, and processed in a timely manner. It began as a temporary service in 2020 and relaunched late last year as cases rose again. It was unexpectedly paused starting Wednesday due to an unusually high number of lab staff calling out sick with COVID-19. The county plans to announce a new self-testing option next week where residents can pick up and drop off the tests at designated locations. LA County employees working indoors alongside others will be required to wear medical-grade masks soon. The new county health order kicks in on January 17th and also requires employers to provide the masks. It's a response to the highly contagious Omicron variant continuing to spread rapidly throughout our communities. We've seen daily new case numbers above 20,000 for nearly a week now. Under the new order issued on Wednesday, employers must start providing employees who work indoors next to others with well-fitting medical-grade masks, surgical masks, or higher-level respirators such as N95 or KN95 masks. Officials say new research indicates that simple cloth masks do not do a good enough job of blocking out virus particles and stopping the spread of infection. A study released in November by researchers at Yale, Stanford, and other universities found that villages in Bangladesh where surgical masks were worn had 11% fewer cases of COVID-19 than villages where no masks were worn. Villages with cloth masks saw infections go down by 5%. Speaking of mask wearing, we're going to have to do that for a little while longer here in California. The state just extended its indoor mask mandate by another month through February 15th. Health experts plan to reevaluate the conditions across California next month to determine the next steps at that time. The mandate requires face coverings in most indoor settings, such as bars, malls, and restaurants. Dr. Mark Ali says we've admitted more patients in California on a day-to-day basis over the past few days than we did even during the peak of last winter's surge. He was particularly concerned about the rise in cases and hospitalizations among children. California has seen nearly 5.5 million total COVID-19 cases and more than 76,000 deaths since the start of the pandemic. Well, now every teenager and 12-year-old can get a COVID-19 booster shot, and health experts are saying do it now. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention endorsed the extra Pfizer shot for those 12 to 15 on Wednesday and reminded the older teens to get it too. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says it is critical that we protect our children and teens from COVID-19 infection and the complications of severe disease. She adds that the booster dose will provide optimized protection against COVID-19 and the Omicron variant and encourages all parents to keep their children up to date with the agency's recommendations. The Pfizer vaccine is currently the only option for American children of any age. The CDC says about 13.5 million kids ages 12 to 17, which is slightly more than half of that age group, have received 2 doses. Well, vacationing in Hawaii just got a lot easier. The state changed its COVID-19 entry requirements, dropping its health questionnaire and cutting the mandatory quarantine time for unvaccinated domestic travelers from 10 to 5 days. The changes are in accordance with the CDC and also allow fully vaccinated and unvaccinated visitors who test negative to skip a quarantine period when they arrive. Some new restrictions are being added as well. Beginning on Saturday, indoor restaurants in Maui will require proof of full vaccination, including a booster shot. People can still eat outside without a vaccination card. Cruises are continuing to get canceled or cut short due to COVID-19 infections. Hundreds of people on the Norwegian Pearl, who sailed on what was supposed to be an 11-day cruise from Miami, were returned to port after less than 2 days at sea because several crew members got infected with the coronavirus. The pandemic also prompted a last-minute cancellation of another cruise that was scheduled to depart yesterday. Norwegian Cruise Line says it is canceling 8 ships in the U.S. and abroad to protect the health and safety of guests, crew members, and communities. Royal Caribbean Cruises also called off its Spectrum of the Seas cruise for today after 9 guests on its earlier trip were possibly exposed to the virus. Meanwhile, another cruise line, Carnival Corporation, says it has not canceled any upcoming voyages. The CDC advised people last week to avoid cruise travel after launching investigations on more than 90 ships. The Grammy Awards are postponed again. It was initially scheduled to take place on January 31st in LA with a live audience and performances. But the Recording Academy says it made the decision to postpone the ceremony after careful consideration and said there were too many risks related to the Omicron variant. The Grammys were postponed last year as well due to coronavirus concerns. The show was moved from late January to mid-March and held with a small audience, mostly consisting of nominees and their guests at the LA Convention Center. Many performances were pre-taped and none were in front of big crowds. This year's awards had been scheduled to return to the now renamed Crypto.com Arena. Academy officials say they look forward to celebrating music's biggest night on a future date, still to be determined. 2 lucky ticket holders, one in California and one in Wisconsin, became mega millionaires overnight. They had all the winning numbers for the Powerball jackpot, worth $632.6 million. That is the 7th largest jackpot in the game's history. The lucky ticket holders will split the jackpot and each take home about $316 million, or if they choose the cash prize, just over $225 million pre-tax. Last night's drawing also had more than 3 million smaller winning tickets, ranging from $4 to $2 million. The last time someone hit the jackpot was also here in California, back on October 4th, 40 drawings ago. A firefighter passed away early this morning after responding to a fire in Rancho Palos Verdes. Officials say 47-year-old Jonathan Flagler, a father of two, was a part of the LA County Fire Department and suffered critical injuries while responding to a house fire on the 30,700 block of Tarapaca Road. Fortunately, crews were able to save the family inside, but Flagler was taken to the Harbor UCLA Medical Center where he succumbed to his injuries. The fire department asked the public to keep the fallen firefighters' family and friends and loved ones in their thoughts and prayers. Rancho Palos Verdes Mayor Dave Bradley shared a statement on behalf of the entire Palos Verdes community, sending heartfelt condolences to the family of this fallen hero, as well as to his courageous colleagues at station number 83. Torrance Fire Chief Martin Cerna says they plan to lower the city's flags to half-staff and shroud their badges to honor and mourn the loss of a fellow firefighter. Chief Cerna says many Torrance firefighters have worked with firefighter Flagler in the past. Mental health professionals are available to support TFD team members should they need support during this very difficult time. Well, as we head into the weekend, be sure to tune in to Weekends in Torrance. New episodes air at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. On Friday, meet City Manager Aram Shaparian and learn about his 20-year journey in Torrance. Then explore Newberry, one of the city's newest coffee and tea shops in North Torrance. And check out what it's like to visit a medical spa during the pandemic. These stories and much more will be airing this weekend starting at 2 p.m. You can find us on Spectrum Cable Channel 3, Verizon Fios Channel 31, streaming on our website as well as on YouTube. Well, before we go at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community, pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. South Bay Woman Gym and Day Spa celebrated its grand opening this week in South Torrance.
South Bay Women Gym and Day Spa is a fully equipped fitness center. We also have a day spa, which we offer massage, facials.
We wanted to create an environment that when our members walk into this facility, they can feel they're like home.
It's my honor to empower women. It's what I always want to do, and I'm just so happy to be able to be a part of this, to create this space for women.
George and Renee Ware are lifelong health enthusiasts and dedicated professionals in the fitness industry. They hope their small business offers a welcoming and safe environment for women to work out and flourish. They plan to begin offering child care services this summer and encourage community members to stop by and check out their services. Congratulations on your grand opening. Now, if you have a great story, an upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday as Leslie Robbins brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.